What's up, Blueprint family? How y'all doing tonight? It is Wednesday night, right? That's a
It
guess.
is.
Let's just threw it out there. And guess what, y'all? Tonight we're going to talk about sex.
Ow. Yep, tonight's topic.
Is why some wives stop having sex with their husbands. So it's not what you all thought.
Mm.
But yeah, we're trying to shed light on this question that we received today. And the question is, why do wives stop having sex with their husbands?
Mm. Pretty plain and simple. But always the first thing I want to say is stop listening to unhappy married people or unhappy divorcees. Stop listening and getting your advice from those people and taking in those experiences and holding them true for all marriages, because that's certainly not true. Not all wives stop having sex with their husbands. And in fact, most of them don't stop having sex with their husbands if they're still married. Let's just be honest. A relationship requires regular work and maintenance, just like anything else you're trying to keep in good condition. That's just the fact of the matter. So, the only reason a relationship loses its level of intimacy over time is because one or both spouses have also stopped putting in the same level of work that they once put into their relationship, but yet they still expect the same outcomes. That's just not going to happen.
Right. And it's not that the fact that women just or wives just stop having sex with their husbands because they're married. Now, just lives change and your situations change. So
Mhm.
there are multiple reasons and many reasons why levels of intimacy or sex may decrease in a relationship.
Mhm.
And number one, and we're going to talk about some common reasons why sex or intimacy decreases in a relationship. Number one, lack of communication. So, one of the most important things of maintaining intimacy in a relationship is good communication, good, solid
Mhm.
communication. So, of course, if you don't talk to each other, then how are you all going to communicate that you all are needing sex?
Mhm.
So, you need to communicate your needs, your desires, and that's what help you to grow. But if you're not doing these things, then more than likely what's going to happen is that you're going to fall apart. Your relationship will fall apart.
Mhm.
So as we get older, our needs and our desires change. I heard a joke today that an old man said that sex was overrated because he was old and he realized that other parts of his life was lacking. So he no longer cared about sex.
Mm.
He more so cared about his bathroom, using the bathroom because of constipation. But speaking about older people, so our needs change as we get older. Our
Mhm.
needs change with different life events, having children or health events or what have you. Hormones and everything change when we get older, and you know that through puberty, how we start increasing in different hormones and how we act. So it's important that we communicate, um, because for example, if women use their feelings, they communicate out uh, through their feelings a lot of times. So their desires will basically show that example through how they feel,
Mhm. If
and
they're
they
not being met,
right
yeah.
if they're not being met.
Mhm.
But as far as men, we communicate, but we more so communicate through we communicate through our feelings as well, and we also focus on facts and things that are going on around us, and we speak on those things.
Mhm.
But um this can lead, what is it, hold on, where we at?
So yeah, basically that women in general, when they aren't able to express their feelings, their needs in a healthy manner and tell their spouse, hey, this is what's going on, they may start to lose interest because their spouse isn't a mind reader, so the man isn't going to be able to know, like, hey, their needs has changed, their desires have changed. The woman has to speak up and do that. And this can actually lead to a decrease in intimacy, especially if couples aren't able to adjust to these life changes as they go through life. So if you get older, and women, if you desire more or less sex, or if you need more or less, foreplay to get you in the mood or whatever, if that's not communicated, then how is your spouse going to be able to adjust to it? So this is why it's super important that you are able to communicate, because once that communication is broken down, it will certainly lead to a loss of trust, a loss of respect, and of course, a loss of intimacy. And these are all essential ingredients for attraction and for a good level of intimacy within a relationship.
Yep. Thank you, honey. Yeah, I was kind of lost there in the notes, but and then number 2, unmet expectations. If couples have unrealistic expectations about their relationships, they're more likely to be disappointed in their relationship, and that can lead to resentment and a decrease in intimacy as well. So, the resentment in the relationship will cause competition with each other. So you all are basically competing against each other for different things, whether that's attention from other people or attention from each other. It can be toxic. So that will decrease the intimacy in the relationship.
Yep. And kind of what we were talking about a little bit earlier, stress. Stress can take a huge toll on a relationship. And as you go through life and its ups and downs of life, you're going to bound to have some things that are going to be especially damaging to the level of intimacy that you have within your relationship. It's going to require a little more work to get up into being in the mood and putting in a lot more effort than you normally would have to if you didn't have those stresses involved. So when couples are stressed, they really have a hard time making time for each other, or even having the energy to, spend time with each other without passing out, especially if you have children.
Passing out.
Yeah, like passing out sleep because you're so tired.
Yeah.
So when you think you're gonna hang out, you end up falling asleep.
Right. People who work less more than likely have more sex because they're less stressed. That's if all their other needs are getting met.
Right.
But women who work more than likely, they have less sex. Now, understand also too, stress can also increase the amount of sex that you get only if you can find a person available to have sex with you. But because sex decreases stress also. But realize that too. So if you are working if you are working women, you're having less sex in your life as opposed possibly
because of the stress,
right, compared to other women who are staying at home, especially other women who are staying at home with no children.
And just in general, having children, that added stress of having children can definitely take a toll on your level of intimacy within your marriage and your relationship. Even things like, moving into a new place or changing a new job or, different just life scenarios that will definitely come and take place and take a strain on your relationship that will ultimately lead to a loss of attraction within your marriage. So sometimes also to external factors will definitely contribute to a loss of attraction. So in particular, when you were talking about work, if a spouse is having a stressful day at work and things are really hard, or if like they've gotten to, just had a bad day overall, those external factors will really contribute to the heart, the emotional energy that the person has, and will also probably make them a little less likely to want to have sex because, they got other things that they're focused and worried on.
Right. That's true. Another one is lack of emotional connection. Women need to feel emotionally connected to their spouse in order to feel attracted to them. That goes back to what I was saying before, that women, women think with their hearts, and men think more so with our minds and our what was it? I'm sorry.
Logic.
Yep, and our logic. There you go. Thank you, honey. I'm tired. All right. So if a woman feels her spouse is not emotionally available or supportive, she may start to lose interest in sex. So guys, so you make sure that you fill your wives emotional buckets up. Let them know, give them compliments, let them know that they're beautiful and you appreciate them and all those things, because that is what get those women in the mood, so that they are ready and available for you and supporting you when you are feeling like you want to have sex.
Yeah. Another one is lack of effort. So, if a man stops putting in the effort for his relationship, and also to vice versa, if a woman stops putting in that effort as well, it could be a turnoff within your relationship. So this can mean anything from, not doing your share of chores, or, not taking her out on dates, or even not providing like you're supposed to. Having a lack of effort within any element of your relationship will certainly take a strain on your intimacy in your relationship.
Right, lack of effort. And then, that goes into a video that I saw today. Women, a lot of women who have career women, and then a lot of men now don't make as much money as career women do. So they may look at that as a lack of effort, but it really isn't. You really just need to be patient with the man that you're with and appreciate the man that you have and respect him.
Yeah, I mean, not sitting around on the couch doing nothing though, and using that as an excuse.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm talking about a hard-working man.
Mhm.
He may not
Yeah.
make as much money as you, but you need to appreciate him for his masculinity, his him putting in the effort of working every day and trying to provide something.
Yep.
But that's just the dynamic in the world that we live in today. There are a lot of modern women make more money than average men, today. So
Yeah, but it's still important. Men can make sure to do other men and women can make sure to do other things that show effort and care into the level of intimacy in your relationship. So
right.
even though you don't make as much money, still make time to take your woman out, whether it's to the park, on a picnic. It doesn't have to be expensive, buy her favorite candy, whatever. Just doing those things that show like, hey, I'm putting in effort to build up and keep my intimacy with you.
Yep.
Yep.
And then 6, changes in appearances or behavior. So if a man's appearance or behavior changes drastically, it can be a sign that he's no longer the same person that his spouse fell in love with. This can mean anything from gaining a lot of weight or becoming more aggressive.
Mm.
So understand that uh, the person that you were when your spouse first met you, you should do what you possibly can in order to be that person. They fell in love with you, and it's a disservice to them if you start changing your whole persona, personality, your whole figure in the relationship.
Mhm.
Do things that actually bring you all together.
Yeah,
So
and still expect them to treat you the same way. I mean, it's nothing. We're not saying that
yeah, you
a
should
person's
disrespect
right,
somebody because they gain weight or
right,
look different. But at the
right.
same token,
The level
it's
of attractiveness.
in a
Yeah.
way it is disrespectful to them because you've changed everything, from your appearance and or
Mm-hmm.
attitude from the reasons why they fell in love with you. So
Yep.
just being fair-minded and being considerate of your spouse in those aspects.
Yeah. Yeah. That's definitely gonna help keep the attraction
Oh
up
yeah, most definitely.
for sure. Another one, of course, infidelity. So, some relationships go through infidelities, and those can be devastating to the relationship and really hard to recover from. If one spouse actually cheats on another spouse, it damages the trust. And that definitely affects the level of intimacy that this person is going to want to have with you, because their wall is going to be up. They're going to be feeling like you're going to hurt them. They're a little more guarded. They're still recovering. So all dealing with just all of that just makes it really hard to have a good high level of intimacy through in your relationship. So avoid cheating.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And then, to be honest with you, sometimes if you're not sleeping with each other, then somebody's sleeping with somebody else. So,
Oh yeah, we get into that for
right.
sure. Yep.
So the infidelity is, maybe the reason why, of course, you all are not sleeping with each other because that person, you may suspect them of actually cheating
Yeah.
on you. So just
Yeah.
remember that if you're an attractive person and if your spouse is attractive and you all are not having sex, it may be a situation or case where they may be sleeping with someone else.
Yep. Yep. Now, even though all of these are valid reasons as to why the level of intimacy would decrease in a relationship, it's still no excuse not to prioritize sex within your marriage, especially because sex is extremely important to any relationship. Let no one tell you that it's not, because it is extremely important. It helps, first off, to increase intimacy in general. Sex is a physical act that helps people connect together. When a man and a woman comes together, it really in the sexual act, it really helps to build trust and intimacy between the spouses.
Right. So strengthening the bond. Sex can be a way for couples to show each other how much they care. It can help strengthen the bond between spouses
Mhm.
and make them feel more comfortable and connected with
Mhm.
each other.
Yeah. Yeah, sex is super important also to help boost the self esteem. So, sex is a great way in general for you to feel good about yourself within your relationship, because you have a spouse who is saying, hey, I'm attracted to you. I want to be connected to you in a way that I hope you're not connecting with anybody else. So, this will help your spouse to feel good about the relationship.
Yeah. And then also too, like we spoke about this before, sex is a good stress reducer.
Hmm.
So if you're um, stressed out, sex is a good way to increase endorphins. Those are the feel good chemicals that the brain make, those hormones,
Yeah.
and they're good for boosting your mood. Also,
Hmm.
for men, it inspires us by having us having self confidence.
Hmm.
Sex gives men self confidence as well, and then I believe so women as well.
Yeah.
It
Boost
helps
your
you
self
all.
esteem.
Yep, helps boost your self esteem as well.
Yep. Another one is, of course, going right along with those good feeling endorphins that you get, you also have an increase in happiness. So, sex is vital to your relationship because it helps to fuel that level of happiness that both partners feel within the relationship. So, this means that plenty of studies have actually shown that couples who engage in sex are happier than couples who don't. So, that says a lot about your relationship overall.
Right. And now, as far as men, it hurts the man's ego or his self. What is it? Yeah, like his ego. So it damages the man's ego and his self confidence when his wife refuses to have sex with him or loses the desire of physical intimacy with them for multiple reasons. And let's talk about that. And number one, it can make a man feel insecure
Mhm.
when his wife no longer finds him attractive, and it can make him feel like he's not good enough.
Yeah.
So it can lead to feelings of insecurity and low self-esteem. Now, we talked about self body image, and it is important for men also to be the same way that the wife has that kept you all together, that attracted her to you as well. So
Mhm.
it goes both ways. That goes both ways as far as the physical attractiveness. But like I was saying before, back on the topic, the lack of sex will bring down the man's self-esteem and his confidence.
Yeah, makes them feel insecure, like you were saying, and it also makes them feel rejected. I'm sure all women have heard that when you say no to a spouse or to or your man for sex, they take it hard. And that is very true because he feels rejected. When a woman is no longer attracted to her husband, it can make him feel like, you don't love him anymore, or you don't find him physically appealing, or, lovable or attractive like you once did. So this can be a painful experience for a man just as much as it would a woman if she noticed her man no longer wanted to have any sex with her.
Yep. And then also too, it can make the man feel lonely.
Hmm.
So when a man's wife is no longer intimate or interested in sex with them, it can make him feel isolated. This is because sex is a way for couples to connect and bond. When sex is absent from a relationship, it can make the spouse feel disconnected from each other. Sex is a form of communication, and it is a healthy communication at that. It is exercise also as well. I think I said that before. Like, what was it, an hour worth of sex during the week is like 3 days worth of exercise. So it has multiple benefits in the relationship. And so that's the reason why you need to continue to find time to have intimacy in your relationship and to continue to have sex.
Yeah, because it will make both the man or the woman feel lonely if they neglect their spouse. If you're not having that connection with your spouse, it makes feel like, they're not there, especially when you're physically able to touch your spouse and you can physically have that connection with them in a different way than you would anybody else. They would start feeling alone if that connection just up and was gone. A woman would too. So a man very much still needs that connection just so he can not feel lonely and feel connected to his wife. Of course, if you don't do any of this, it will certainly lead to other problems within the relationship. So, in particular, when a man's wife is no longer attracted to him, this level of this lack of attraction will actually lead to more lack of communication, more lack of trust, and a lack of appreciation for each other. It just is like a ripple effect of lacks when you just start lacking in the physical intimacy department.
Yep. A sexless marriage can have a number of negative impacts on the relationship. So we're going to talk about some of those.
Yeah.
Some of those include um, the lack of sex is a form of intimacy, of course, and when it is absent from a relationship, it can
Yeah.
send a relationship. It can cause areas. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm talking about the same thing. Yes, it can cause areas of disconnect in a relationship and have a negative impact overall on the relationship.
Yeah.
So when both or one spouse in a relationship is lacking sex, like we said before, it can cause resentment.
Hmm.
Um, it can also cause one to not be interested in sex and make the other spouse feel inadequate
Yep.
as well.
Yep. And of course, it will lead to an increase in infidelities. This is because when people are not getting sex from their significant other, they will usually seek outside sources to get it
Right.
from. So, hey.
So there are red flags along the way in the relationship that are telling whether or not your relationship is going to end up being a situation of infidelity that is in it.
Yeah.
So
And a sexless marriage is certainly one way.
yeah, and then also to the pay attention to your husband. What is his attitude like now? Is he always complaining that he's depressed, that he's sad, that
Hmm.
he wants sex,
Hmm.
that he's looking for your emotional support? Is he
Yeah.
looking for your touch? Things
Yeah.
like that.
Is there more conflicts and arguments because, you guys aren't having that connection with each other?
Right. And then I understand too, health is a issue too. So if you're not in the best health, more than likely sometimes you're not having sex.
Yeah.
So
But it's still important to prioritize other ways that you can build up that emotional and physical intimacy within the relationship because, believe it or not, studies have shown that if you are in a sexless marriage, you are more likely to head for divorce than you are if you have a couple that's regularly having sex. So, if you are concerned about your level of intimacy within your relationship, there are a few things that you can do, and we're going to go over them. So, first off, of course, you both have to communicate. So, if you are a man struggling with the fact that your wife is not sexually intimate with you in the way that you would like, be sure to talk to your wife and tell her how you are feeling. This is going to help her to understand where you are coming from and how her actions are affecting you.
yeah, you both need to talk about your feelings and needs and desires in a relationship and be honest about what you are looking for in a relationship and be willing to listen to what your spouse wants as well.
Yeah.
So this is very important to increase the physical intimacy. So if you don't tell your spouse what you want, they can't read your mind. And that goes back to what my wife said before. Men are not mind readers. We don't know. So you have to have that open communication and don't shut down when there's problems or issues in the relationship. You want to keep things going and communicate as much as you can, because the lack of communication, of course, like we've been saying, leads to the lack of intimacy.
Yeah, and that can be hard to do for maybe the man and the woman to be able to approach your spouse about, intimacy. But if you are married in particular, you should have some level of comfort to be able to express those hard feelings to your spouse. That is the only way that you can then be able to conflict resolve and not stay stagnant within the relationship. Usually, if somebody's wife has stopped having sex with them, it's because somewhere along the line, nobody is communicating that this is an important need that needs to be fulfilled. Men, you have to speak up. You can't just wallow and mope and get depressed or feel lonely or get angry or, all these things that may show that something is wrong with you. Women certainly need to pay attention to this. But men, it's important that you speak up so that your wife can understand how she's affecting you and how it is very important that y'all keep up that level of intimacy. This will also help the woman to feel more connected to you as well, because she would see her value in her being able to connect with you in that physical way.
Yep. And then also to make time for physical touch,
Yeah.
because that is a way, especially a way to initiate sex in
Yeah.
a form of foreplay.
Yep.
Holding hands, cuddling, giving each other, shoulder rubs, massages, and all of
Hmm.
that increases intimacy in the relationship. And also shows your partner, your wife, your husband, that you care for them as well. We all have different love languages, and one of mine is touch. So that is a way that I think a lot of guys, their love language is touch. So women, learn ways that you can touch your husband in order to, initiate intimacy with them. So it doesn't always have to be sexual. It can just be also ways to communicate and talk. You can initiate that with touch as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And men, don't shy away from getting that physical touch involved with your spouse, by with your wife, by initiating it as well. So if you see that she's tense, if she's had a tough day at work, or whatever the case may be loving, be caring and supportive as a husband, and offer your touch in the form of hugs and kisses and, forehead kisses, or just, cuddles, sweet ways that actually show, like, hey, I want to relax your body and give you that energy from me to you so that we can connect with each other. Yep. So another one. Oh, also making sure that you are being able to spend regular time with each other. So I think we kind of missed this off of our list, but that is super important. Even if you are very, very busy within your day to day life, you have to schedule time if you need to, so that you guys can connect with each other in an intimate way. You have to spend quality time, especially men, for a woman. Oftentimes, a woman needs you to connect with her mental first in order for her to even feel relaxed and comfortable to open up with you. So don't shy away from showing her, hey, I want to spend this time with you. Let me show you my undivided attention during this time. Women, too, if you see that your man is trying to initiate some quality time with you, put the phone down, put it away, and give him that eye contact and that love and connection so that he can show you that physical touch. He can show you those things that will help relax you and open you up more to a sexual experience with him.
Right. And then also too, be playful and
Adventurous.
adventurous.
Yeah.
That is also a form of foreplay. So learn foreplay. That's what we're trying to say here. So don't be afraid to try new things in the bedroom.
Yeah.
Learn each other's body languages and ways that you all enjoy, touch, like I spoke of before. But try new things. Be adventurous, like my wife said, and try new things in order to increase the intimacy in the bedroom.
Yeah, speak up, have those conversations. Ladies, if there's certain things that you like, even a great way to encourage the guy to keep doing it is to tell him while he's doing it that you like that and have him keep doing that. And tell him afterwards, I really like that. We did this and I would like us to keep doing more of this because it really helped me get in the mood. You have to be open and honest about what you want so that he can look to fulfill that. A man, if anything, is always going to want to please you in the bedroom, especially if you are his wife. He's probably going to find it very much a turn on to see you in your element and relax and allowing him to please you. So don't be afraid to tell him, hey, I like this. I want to try this again. Or even, I want to try this. I saw this in a movie. I read this in a book. Do different things and try them out with each other. You never know what you'll like. And in particular, don't be so squeamish and off put to things that your husband suggests as well. Even if it's something that you may have never thought about doing yourself, give it a try. You may like it.
Yep, and then also to create a romantic atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
You know, music, mood lighting, bubble baths, things like that. That'll
Yeah.
get you in the mood and want you to give you the feeling of wanting to have sex. That'll make it easier as well.
Yeah.
So do romantic things. I always talk about men buying women gifts as far as candies, their favorite candies and things like that. Go on a vacation, go on a date, set the mood, so that both of you understand that sex is on the schedule tonight. So do things for each other that will set you all up to increase the intimacy in the relationship.
Yeah, it's really all about helping to relax each other because that's really what has to happen in order for sex to be an enjoyable experience for both of you all. You both have to be relaxed. So if you know your wife's favorite song, her favorite music, the things she likes to listen to, sorry, our dog is trying to join the conversation, but if these are things that you know that your spouse relaxes to, put them on. Essential oils, different things, try it all. Just do your best to set the atmosphere as best as you can.
Yeah, but also too, don't put too much pressure on yourself. If you're feeling pressure to have sex, don't force it. Like my wife said, relax and enjoy it, because dealing with men pressure can also cause us to be um, not involved in sex. It can cause us to not able to keep an erection during sex because we
Yeah.
feel pressure or the force to wanting to have sex or what have you. Make it feel natural. Make the situation feel natural and not something that's like a medical situation,
Mm-hmm.
something that needs to be done.
Yeah. So
Be
routine.
right.
Yeah.
But also to realize that if your lifestyle involves your children, often at times sex may now become a routine,
Mm-hmm.
and it's okay. It's okay for that to happen. But you can also find spontaneous ways and other ways to schedule sex as well.
And because we mean routine in the sense of the opportune times for you guys to have sex, so you take full advantage of those opportune times, even if it is the same time every day. It just is what it is. Those are the best times for you guys to engage in that and have sex. Did something drop? Yes, our stream dropped. The camera battery.
Did it stop?
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, let me put a new camera in there. New battery in there.
Sorry, y'all. We done dropped out onto the stream. Well, we are still live and going on Instagram. But again, so of course, as we build on into this, I'm sorry, y'all, for the technical difficulties. But like we were saying, don't put too much pressure on yourself to get you guys to relax and enjoy the experience. Of course, we've all heard of how when women or men are trying to get pregnant and they put so much pressure on each other, it doesn't happen because that kind of just creates like a bad
Stress.
energy. Yeah, like a bad energy towards it. And it's not so much enjoyable and a fun experience. But the moment they chill out and relax and just let it be, it happens. And it's like the best experience for them because it's really what life is all about, learning how to just relax and go with the flow and just allow yourself to enjoy the experience and the spouse that you're with.
Right.
Yep.
Yep. So be patient for the opportunity to build intimacy in the relationship. Like throughout the day, you can text your spouse, send them pictures, Tell
Mhm.
them how much you are into them, how much you're attracted to them, and you can't wait for them to get home. Leave notes
Mhm.
for them around the house, notes for them in the car when they go to before they go to work. Just show them that you're interested. So
Yeah.
that will help set the tone for intimacy that night.
Yeah, yeah. And like you were saying, just be patient and allow it to take place because you can't expect those changes to happen overnight. So, men, if you bring your wife this video and you tell her, hey, honey, these are some great things I want to change or I want to implement into our life, that's awesome. But also allow her the time to adjust to everything and allow him, woman, too, if you're asking him to do certain things to help you get more into the mood, allow him to adjust to that and become comfortable and learn how to implement these things within your daily life, not expecting everything to just change overnight and poof, you guys are all over each other again. If that happens, awesome, great, whatever you did, keep doing it. But if it doesn't, continue to be patient. You guys eventually will both reach a point where you're both satisfied with each other, especially if you keep building up that intimacy, consistently working on it all throughout the day and all throughout your relationship.
Yeah, but then also to be supportive of each other.
Yeah.
So be there for your spouse when they need you and offer them your support. This will help them to feel loved, appreciated, and then also too, it will, which and giving them that support will also will lead them to a stronger and more intimate relationship with you, because overall what they will realize is that you care about them.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to be in a relationship with someone and they feel that they are not cared for. They don't, they're not wanting to be supported. They're not feeling like they're supported in the relationship. So it is important, guys and women, to both support each other and appreciate each other and respect each other. That's also will build levels of intimacy in your relationship as well.
Yep. Yep, certainly. Gotta be supportive. And of course, if you are still struggling to cope with building up the level of intimacy within your relationship, your own situation that you have going on, it will probably be extremely helpful to seek some help. So, whether this is through a therapist or us, you can hit us up at wifeconomics.com/schedule a consultation. We are certainly here to help you and we can help you to understand your feelings and what you're going through, and more importantly, help you to develop strategies and coping mechanisms as you work through this issue within your relationship.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
here to support and provide guidances to those who need it in relationships. So don't be shy to ask us any questions, especially during our show. So if you have any questions, our viewers, by any means, go ahead and drop a comment, uh, drop compliments if you like. We had those before too. But yeah, we're here for you. So if
Yeah.
no one else is, we're here for you. So
Yeah.
you
Yeah, it
know,
can be a tough time for a man if his wife is neglecting him, and a woman too if she's feeling neglected by her husband and not wanting to have sex with him. It can be a tough time. So it's always a nice thing to have a support system. And I want to go right back to what I said in the beginning. Make sure the support system is a married couple, a married person. They have the alignment with what you want out of a relationship. That means they're still married. They're still in it. They're still working on it. They're still doing the things that needs to be done to keep a relationship in a healthy state. That is the advice and the alignment with the mindset that you want to get in alignment with. Not somebody that's divorced, not somebody that's hurt, not somebody that's gone through a relationship and made it out and want to tell their story. That's all nice. But when you're really looking to, especially within building intimacy within a relationship, it's super important that you are talking to a man and a woman, or man or woman, who are married and actually know the work that is going to take into keeping that level of intimacy up within the marriage, and also have a positive perspective on this look. They don't think that, oh, it's hard work. They don't think that, oh, this can't be done. If you are talking to couples who are married, their perspective is going to be completely different than a couple, or a couple who is struggling within their marriage, or a person who was once married. Two totally different perspectives. So when you're out seeking for help, make sure that you are under the alignment of somebody who has the outcomes that you are looking for sure.
Oh, well said,
Yeah.
honey.
Thanks.
Yep. So that is all that we have for you all tonight.
Yeah.
So we just talked about why some wives stop having sex with their husbands. So with all that information, I don't think the fact is that wives are stop having sex with their husbands.
Mm-mm.
There's always some underlying situation or cause of that, of course, and we just talked about all of those things. So if you know anybody who needs this information, please share the video, and then also to have them to like and subscribe to our Instagram, Facebook, and our YouTube. So until next time, Blueprint family, you all have a wonderful night. Peace.